Well, hey everybody. Welcome back to the Ravens Outpost. Sorry about last weekend. Sunday was really weird. We got some bad weather in here and we were having problems with internet all day, and I just didn't risk getting online. Um I got kicked off several times trying to do something, and well, internet being wishy-washy, I decided I wasn't going to do it. I figured I'd just hold off till today. And, Rick, I hope you're still here. It's midnight, brother. Yes, sir. There we go. Yes, sir. How you doing, man? How you doing? I don't know if you remember the topic we talked about last week. We were talking about, um, how the truth is being hidden from us, has been hidden from us for a long time. And this is something I've been interested in for a while. Haha, Ray. Hail, the gang's all here. Yes, indeed. I'll try to adjust this a little bit. Doing good. Doing good. Making some adjustments in my life. I'm hoping everything's going all right. Um, Thinking about looking into getting a new camera. This is a good camera, but the lighting that I like, I don't know why the autofocus, it gets it so grainy all the time. Uh, I'd like to get a new camera. I'm looking into it. But right now, I'm do what I can with what I got. Um, Rebelicious. How's that? Rebelicious is in the house. So, I've been thinking about it, and they've been covering this up for a long time, and big news outlets have gotten a hold of stories and run with it and checked into it and actually published articles on it. On When I say it, I mean, all right, we'll take Sasquatch for instance. I'm narrowing it down to one thing right now. Why Sasquatch? Because what drew everybody to my channel to begin with. But it goes wider and broader than, yes, adjustments. I'm It's everything that we've been talking about. Um, how they've come forward with their so-called disclosure about UFOs, or what they've now renamed UAPs. Um, Stuff that we've already known. Uh, those of us who actually are free thinkers. Um, Free thinkers nowadays are called conspiracy theorists. You know, that's what we're labeled as. And it's ridiculous. All of us sitting here right now have been waiting for the rest of the world to catch up. We've been sitting here waiting, watching the clock, waiting for the rest of these dunderheaded sheep to catch up with where we're at. A lot of us knowers, not believers, knowers. We're like, we've been telling you. And it goes with everything. And usually in my broadcasts I don't like to get political, but I don't really see it as getting political when I'm talking about world events. I call it common sense and just looking at the world through eyes that aren't covered by rose-colored glasses. You know what I'm saying? So it's been a long time coming, but evil can only stay in the shadows for too long, just so long before the light finds them. And it's the job of people like us to help drag them out into the light. And they're getting desperate. They're getting angry. Um, and they're starting to go on the attack. These powers that be, our esteemed politicians. I don't call them our leaders. They call them, that would dictate that they are over us and they're better than us. They are not. They are hired by us to do a job, to run the country on our behalf. And when you have politicians who are standing up against the machine, they're getting smacked down, thrown death threats. Okay? And these are the same ones who are covering up specific things that we're talking about. See if I can find this. Bring it up here. And just digging around. That's right. That's right. Look, we've known about this for a long time. And it takes something very traumatic to bring us out of the fog that we were in. I mean, I've been having experiences since I was like 8 years old, I guess. Maybe younger. I'm gonna think it was more like 5 or 6. Because I believe the first time I had my ghostly encounter, I was in kindergarten. I just first started kindergarten. So I've walked through life with this curious notion in my head: what the hell was that? And continuously having supernatural or paranormal events occur in my life, even up to here recently. So when it comes down to people covering up the truth and throwing out propaganda, and what we talked about last time is how it's so easy for people to buy into the bullshit because they don't want their world turned upside down. They don't want to believe it. So I wanted to title this episode Bigfoot Lies and Videotape. There were some things I wanted to get into, but I was kind of afraid to because the last time I went into a deep dive discussion, I got my my show kicked off. Totally pulled. Because of I don't know, some fucker who likes to pick on the little guy. Well, the question was risen, and this is from an article in 2017. Okay, and I was just really getting into the subject then and realizing um, Bigfoot lies and videotape. Yeah. Okay. I highly suggest, if you haven't done it already, check out Steve Isdall's uh, facts howtohunt.com, and he has a video up where he reads a letter that was sent to him, and it was a video conference um, between the late Bobby Short, another individual, a Native American uh, who lived on the res and who had admittedly killed a Sasquatch, and it's great. Um, it goes into a lot, and it's very very controversial in the Bigfoot world. And when Steve aired that, you know, up to that point, people were so ready to get Steve on their shows. They wanted to talk to him. They wanted to pick his brain. They were, because he has the largest following of probably any true um, Sasquatch research, investigation, channel, whatever out there. And it's really not a Bigfoot channel. It was his hunting channel. It was his vlog about his hunts. Exactly. Bluff Creek. M.K. Davis has been, his name has been slung through the mud to hell and back because of this. And everybody has called him crazy. His presented a lot of evidence about the cover up there. And it shows just how far back this so-called government conspiracy goes. The conspiracy to cover up the existence of another human-like individual known to most people now by the ridiculous name of Bigfoot. I hate that name. I will openly say it. I will always say it. I hate the term Bigfoot because it's just stupid. Sasquatch is a little bit better, but it still has that taint to it, like Bigfoot. You say I hunt Bigfoot or I'm hunting Sasquatch, and I hate people because I was one of those stupid motherfuckers who did that shit. I'm hunting Sasquatch. I'm hunting for proof. Dude, there's proof out there. There's already proof there. All you got to do is look and quit being an ignorant ass. There are hunters who are out in the woods maybe 2 weeks out of the year and say, I'm out in the woods all the time. I'm hunting all the time. I ain't never seen nothing. That's 2 weeks out of a fucking year, dude. I'm sorry, I'm cussing a lot tonight, but I'm really, really fired up about this. And usually when I get passionate about something, I just lose my filter altogether. I really don't really care about what people think of me. And I've made that abundantly clear. If they think I'm crazy, then so be it. That's fine. I really don't care because I know what I know. I do. I know what I know. And it is what it is. But I've got to pull this up and read this to you. And the question is the government covering up the existence of Sasquatch? Right here. And this guy, Dan Smith. The government? What makes you think there's an agency or an official that would even be interested in covering up such a thing? That right there just shows his ignorance. That first sentence just shows his ignorance. And if there was, where would they get the funds to conduct this cover up? It is folly to suggest that the government exists as a coherent body of like-minded persons capable of maintaining a meaningless conspiracy over decades. They can't even agree on minor issues or protect our military or technological secrets, let alone mount a massive program to conceal the existence of something like Sasquatch. And those of you who will be watching after the stream is over with, please leave your comments in the section below. I want to hear from you. If you're tuning in because, I don't know, you just stumbled on the channel and you're a naysayer, you don't really believe, I want to know why. Why not? And before we go any further, I want to ask you, is this mic a little loud? If I'm too loud, I'm going to see if I can fix it. I don't know. Is that any better? Turn that down a little bit. Maybe that's better. Had it cranked up. But yeah, that's one. And there's more. Al Klein writes, no. What's covering the existence up is called reality. There's nothing for the government to cover up. See, they buy the lie. These people. People like that walk around with such a very good view of their own colon. They know it very well. Yep. There are elected officials and there are people who are hired to do the dirty work, who are there, who've been there for a long time. You know, the Department of the Interior, Bureau of Land Management, the FBI, since we now know how crooked they've become and how long it's been going on that way. I mean, it goes back to the days of Eisenhower when he warned us of the military, the massive military complex. You know, he warned us. He warned us of it. And even even the people who say they believe haven't really done the deep dive enough to really see the big picture. They only know what they've been told, what they've been spoon fed, or what they're just have a casual interest in, and they will just gloss it over, and watch these programs that promote these idiots walking around through the woods, banging on trees, and hooping and hollering. Um, Even though their intentions are good, their thought process is, well, I believe, and there's something here, but they don't do the, like I said, the deep dive enough to where they're they actually know and have an informed opinion about it. They just parrot a lot of highlighted talking points, like the logging industry and so on and so forth. But there's one here I want to bring up because I give the dude props, and this was like almost a year later. Um, right here, uh, Brian Thomas, he writes, I would imagine probably so, simply because the repercussions of acknowledging the existence, unlike the opinions of the people who answer below, there are many reasons why the government would cover this up. People will be scared to go to national parks, which is true. At first, they would be probably terrified at first. Once they come to realization that it was actually true, and the government actually disclosed that, hey, these people do exist. He goes on to say it would affect the timber and logging industry. Eh, no, no, it would not. And we all know why. Because the timber and logging industry has been dealing with this thing, that dealing with these people for many, many years. And he goes on to say, and there's more of the moral question of, are these a primitive type of human? And if so, do they deserve the same rights we have? Now, that is a very intelligent statement. It says that he has some type of knowledge. He has actually done some research, and he's looked into it deep enough to where he has somewhat of an informed opinion. When he says, do they deserve reservations or special lands set aside for them? It would also disprove a lot of anthropology and history. There are many more reasons to cover it up than to acknowledge it. Just look at what the spotted owl did to the timber industry. Imagine if we had a large population of subhumans, apes, or somewhere in between, it would disrupt everything. Now, no, not so much. I don't think. I really don't think so. I think there's and we all think the same way. See, Ray? Yeah, you're exactly right. But I would say good luck to that. I've read stories that there are special teams in the military who are out there. Um, I've read more than one story, or heard more than one story about these special teams of fixers, cleaners, whatever you want to call them, that are dispatched to dispatch problemed Sasquatch. So these people are nuts. Just leave them alone. That's what I say. Absolutely, it's deeper than logging in parts. I think it has everything to do with our existence, period, and where we come from, our history, what we're tied to, who we're tied to, where we actually come from. I think it would turn the world on its ear. Like we talked about last time, this rabbit hole I jumped down into when I was looking for the reason for the Sasquatch existence. We're looking at. I thought, the Yeti. I heard about the Yeti when I was a kid, and hearing about Sasquatch and Bigfoot when I was a kid. And I remember seeing the Patterson-Gimlin film when I was a kid, maybe once or twice. And it was on the news. It was back when there was a big thing. And, well, I had no idea they were all over the world. They were seeing the rock apes in Vietnam, the urine in Russia. The wild man, the stories of the wild man. There's so many different tales here in the United States. The stories that the First Nations people have told for centuries about their interaction with these people. Not only that, but their interactions with, hold on to your seats, giants, little people, So, yeah. So just to show a little something here. These are a little long, these articles. Pull the first one up here. And it's from a website called Live Science. It's just one that I just happened to pull up. Bigfoot's FBI file reveals strange story of a monster hunter and 15 mysterious hares. The U.S. government releases Bigfoot FBI file yesterday on June 5th. Now, this is 2019. Okay. June 5th. It contains a few news clippings and some formal letters to and from a monster hunter in the 1970s, leading to an examination of 15 hairs and some skin the hunter believed came from a quote-unquote Bigfoot. It appears that Peter Byrne, the monster hunter, first wrote to the FBI on August 26, 1976. His note, printed on fancy letterhead reading the Bigfoot Information Center and Exhibition, suggested that the FBI was in possession of flesh and hair belonging to a mysterious creature, possibly belonging to a Bigfoot. Gentlemen, Byrne wrote, would you kindly, to set the record straight, once and for all, inform us if the FBI has examined hair which might be that of a Bigfoot. When this took place, if it did take place, what the results of the analysis were. He didn't indicate why he suspected that the FBI might have done such an analysis, only that from time to time we have been informed that hair supposedly of a Bigfoot has been examined by the FBI with the conclusion as a report of the examination that it was not possible to compare the hair with that of any known creature on this continent. Now, where have we heard this before? Where have we heard that before? And this has been very recent. This has been very recent. Does the name Melba Ketchum, the Bigfoot Genome Project, does any of that come to mind? I know you guys, Ray, Rick, I know you guys know what I'm talking about. But those of you that are tuning in after the fact or listening to what I'm saying, the Bigfoot Genome Project had a team headed by a geneticist, an accredited doctorate, PhD, named Melba Ketchum. And she had a team of very good, very astute individuals out in the field gathering information and as many samples of hair, follicles, whatever they could find, and submitted it. And I can't remember how many different agencies that she had sent that to be to analyzed. I've heard so much bullshit regarding her study and how it was shit on. Basically, that's, I mean, I'm not mincing any words tonight. Not one bit. The whole thing was shit on. And she did a fantastic job, in my opinion. But the FBI has had this in their possession for quite a while. Now, this next article, I didn't read the rest of it, but it doesn't need mentioning. Here we go. You see the letterhead, CNBC. He got the FBI to test Bigfoot hair in the 70s. And this 93-year-old man is still searching for Sasquatch. And this was in June of 2019. In 76, a man intent on proving the existence of the mythical creature. Now, see, here's what they do. And I've just recently come to realize they do a lot of verbal, they do a lot of word judo. Okay. And first thing they try to do is discredit anything from the get-go when they try this right here. This word, mythical. In 1976, a man intent on proving the existence of the mythical creature known as Bigfoot got the FBI to test hair and tissue samples that he believed might help his case, according to newly released records. The FBI concluded that the sample came from a member of the deer family, which I believe is complete and utter bullshit. The man, 93-year-old Peter Burns, says he still hasn't given up hope of proving that Bigfoot is a real, if exceedingly rare, creature. There's Patty. Now you look at this picture right here, and you look at the work M.K. Davis has done. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal at what he's done and how he's been able to bring out the quality, the picture quality. When you see her walk, You see her body move. I can't for the life of me find the National Geographic documentary they did on Sasquatch. Only through today's CGI can they replicate this. They had a guy in a suit with leg and arm extensions. Okay. He practiced Patty's Gate. He practiced. And he admitted that it was so hard to do. Not only that, you look at the film. Let's go back to this picture, shall we? Right here, Patty's leg. You look at that thigh muscle right there. When that foot hit the ground, you could see the muscle move and flex. You could see her breasts move when she walks. It couldn't be faked. The reason why she's walking away is another story. One I'll get into maybe next time. Right here, once again, right here. See what he did? Yet he persisted. He's making a joke out of it the whole damn time. An Oregon man intent on proving the existence of the mythical creature known, once again, there he goes with the mythical bullshit. Creatures known as Bigfoot, Sasquatch, the Abominable Snowman, and Yeti in 1976 managed to get the FBI to test hair and tissue samples that he believed might help his case. The FBI has analyzed hair in connection with the search for Sasquatch, aka Bigfoot. And here you go. This is it. Right here. To Mr. Peter Byrne, director, the Bigfoot Information Center and Exhibition. Dear Mr. Byrne, I have received your letter of November 24th requesting an FBI laboratory analysis of 15 unidentified hairs and tissue. The FBI laboratory conducts examinations primarily of physical evidence for law enforcement agencies in connection with criminal investigations, occasionally on a case-by-case basis in the interest of research and scientific inquiry. We make exceptions to this general policy. With this understanding, we will examine the hairs and tissue mentioned in your letter. They should be submitted to the FBI Laboratory Scientific Analysis Section, J. Edgar Hoover Building, Washington, D.C., 20535. Attention, Special Agent, redacted. In your reply, please include available background information concerning the source of the specimen. December 20th, 1976, J. Cochran, Jr., Assistant Director, FBI Scientific and Technical Service Division. It's got several different letters, news articles. Let's see. I think at one point they had a picture of the follicles of hair. Yeah, right here. This is slide number 20. Right here. Of the hair follicles. Just a picture. Sort of. Like a Xerox copy. But it doesn't tell much. I mean, you know they know. I mean, they know already. They've had this. According to Peter, they've already had this stuff in their possession. They were holding on to it. Would you please do the analysis? And poor Melba, once she did the analysis, once everything, she published everything. They went after her hard. You should have sent it to Melba. Yeah, probably should have. And it does. And Ray, you're right. You say that plays into the massacre story. You're right. It does. Why ask for the source if it's mythical? It's true. I mean, I don't know. But when you've got, CNBC doing a story about it, they were told to do it. For what reason were they doing it? As I pointed out, doing their verbal judo, the first thing they do is throw these quips in there to make light of it. So, this is a bullshit story. I had to write this story. Da 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 da. When I think it's propaganda, to be honest with you. I think it's here's your story. You want to know about it. Here you go. It's all bullshit. Blah blah blah. Okay, we're going back here. So Peter Byrne was looking into this way back, way back. Okay. He says, it's a great challenge, Peter Byrne said when asked to explain his interest over 9 decades in finding creatures widely believed to be figments of imagination or the inventions of con men. Byrne's webpage says that he has always had an interest in the unknown and the mysterious since his father used to tell him bedtime stories of the Yeti in the Himalayas. The page says first opportunity to go looking for the Yeti occurred in 1946 when he was still in the British Royal Air Force in Bombay, India. A photo on that page shows him with the famous Yeti scalp at a temple in the Himalayas in Nepal in 1958. Another photo shows a very big footprint of a possible Bigfoot. His desire to see a Yeti for himself led him to launch 3 extensive expeditions searching for the Yeti in Nepal in the late 1950s. Burns said that in the past 50 years, he has found 2 or 3 sets of possible Yeti footprints with 5 toes on each foot left in tracks in the Himalayas at altitudes of 15,000 feet. But concluded Wednesday that those prints could have been left by Hindu holy men or sadhus, whom he has been walking barefoot in the who has been seen walking barefoot in the snows at such heights. Really? I mean, so you really got to examine what these shitbags are saying. Um, there's very few journalists out there anymore who actually participate and practice the art of journalism, who actually report the news, who actually try to keep you informed. So we wind up with shit like this. This is why. And you see, I mean, this is what a lot of people pay attention to. This is where they get this is their source for news. There are so many people that still think that CBS, ABC, NBC, CNBC, MSNBC, CNN, all those alphabet fuckers, even Fox News is on your side. When truly they're just propaganda machines. There are a few out there who actually speak the truth, and when they do, they're attacked relentlessly. Melba Ketchum, Dr. Ketchum, I'll show her a little respect here. Dr. Ketchum, her career was sunk after this. Her career was sunk after doing research and testifying in court, making appearances in court and criminal cases, as being an expert witness, where her testimony held so much weight. Okay. After this, the media came after her relentlessly and buried her career. Buried it. As they do a lot of other people. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Senator Greene. Senator Margie Taylor Greene. Now, she doesn't have anything to do with Sasquatch. She's not talking about any of that. I'm using her as a prime example as a politician who actually got